with a stencil cap. Same thing, same I guess tool that I use to do these little thin electrical lines. Most of the detail when I'm working in, doing characters, I do with thin caps or skinny caps. Most of my general fill-in, like just broad areas, is done with a fat cap, and then I'll just go in with a skinny cap and do all the detail work and all my cutting and everything. And then, very, very little stencil cap work. Just to accentuate the detail there. And again, I mean, we have the highlight, or a light source coming this way, and then a shadow area, and of course on her arm or her shoulders. That's like just all pretty much. This is all just like buff color of the wall, but I used that as like a shadow and kind of faded it into her neck and everything. So I thought that kind of worked out. And I still outlined her with the border color here, and to again bring some continuity along with the letters. The highlights I added last, and I shaped it up a little bit. Cleaned out is this the pupil area with the white, and added the highlights just to kind of give you a sense of a directional light source, on a spherical object. Because if you imagine her eye is round inside of her eye socket, then the highlights should match on both eyes. If there were two highlights, then it should have two highlights. But just one highlight there. The black over that, beige, a little bit of brown, just to kind of get this shadow in here, and do like some soft cutting techniques with the beige to kind of bring that forward. Even like working around her nose area here, I laid in some brown, cut it with white. I mean, not white. Cut it with beige, and then mixed it over that with the warm brown, just to kind of give this some subtlety compared to this. So it's a little darker here, so therefore it kind of pushes it back just a little bit. And then, of course, with the detail here and the darker brown, that lets you know that this is rounded there. I started off with her hair just throwing just streaks of white down in this type of motion here, just like a hooking motion, just to kind of define a direction of how her hair is going to lay in these chunks of strands or whatnot. And I used warm brown, like a leather brown, a darker brown. I used yellow and a little bit of black over in here. This cord here, right here, the overlapping of this cord, coming from her head and going around her back and attaching to the letters here. There are wires, as you can see the electricity flowing around it. The red and blue, just to kind of signify computer technology, maybe mental programming, attachment to an idea, and energy source, whether the energy is coming from her brain to the letters, as an idea, or from the letters to her brain in terms of like programming. I use the colors kind of like red, white, and blue, or red and blue, kind of patriotic, or kind of, again, just mass programming on a humongous level. A nuclear explosion, destroying the city with some energy flowing out here in all directions. It's boom, there it is. You know what I'm saying? We have all this energy coming off of the mushroom cloud, had the entire mushroom cloud, and then we had this man with a gun and his son. All right, so we got this man with the gun and this, dragging this kid down here. For me, this kind of symbolizes that, somebody always has a bigger weapon. We're running around with guns, but somebody always has a bigger bomb or a bigger gun or something. And then this is the kind of violence or whatever that we kind of perpetuate in this society at this point in time. Okay, check this out. This entire piece is a very personal piece for me. After a trip to Japan last year, where I do have family, aunts, uncles, cousins, and whatnot, because I'm part Japanese and black, or I should say half Japanese and black, Malaysian. I found out some history on the bombing of Hiroshima, and the decision to bomb Hiroshima was made just the day before they were going to, I guess America was going to bomb Tokyo, and I kind of felt like if Tokyo was bombed, then my family would have been wiped out. I wouldn't be here to be able to even do this. I'm gonna put this canvas together for you guys. Show you guys some more aerosol techniques. I've applied the canvas, pretty much no different than painting a wall, just a smaller area. So what I'm doing right now is actually sizing up my image to actually fit on this canvas. We're going to do a picture of Tupac, and we're going to see how it goes. Okay, just to start off with, this canvas is already pre-primed with gesso or gesso, whatever you want to call it, whatever part of the country you're from and all of that. This is our primer coat, much like starting off with the black buff primer coat that we put on the wall yesterday. And we're going to start off from that.
Okay, so I'm going to work on this portrait of Tupac today. And in my pre-sketch session right now, I'm going to just detail where his nose, mouth, eyes, ears, and his bandana is going to be. Working from a photograph. And again, this is just my pre-sketch, so after I get all my basic gestures of lines and whatnot, then I'm going to start cutting it back with the black. In this section, I'm going in with my gross general detail. I'm going to basically start cutting back some of the white with this black. And I'm going to go over with many layers of blacks and whites and just basically search for the detail and figure out the best possible solution to creating this portrait. The challenge here is to not only control the midtones, but also show the general highlights and shadows, as well as carving out the detail all at the same time. Black into this section to show the separation between the nose and the cheekbone. I can go back in with white later on to establish it as a mid-tone and lighten it up a little bit, and also shape the cheek out too.
Just taking a step back, to look at what's going on here. As I put the initial detail and whatnot in there, I'm looking to make sure that everything is It's kind of lined up, checking where his eyes are. Make sure make sure his face is is well centered and everything. I know it looks kind of crazy right now, but we're still in the initial steps. I mean, so I still consider this like my pre-sketch. I'm starting to just kind of suggest a little bit of detail, and I think it's gonna come out pretty nice. Taking a breather, enjoying the sunshine, all of that stuff. Yeah, I think we're all good so far. I'm real happy with this area so far. Again, this is not nowhere near being done. Have some issues with his eyes. Because I know I want to make sure that this eye isn't too far in. So I got the highlight portion of his nose, suggestion of his eyebrows. Still trying to figure out how to carve the detail out around this eye. And even though we got like lots of overspray here, we'll definitely take care of all of this stuff, in the final way, so I'm definitely not worried about anything like that, because if you imagine like his cheek here there's so little detail in there. I got to work on the detail areas first. Mouth, nose, eyes, and his rag should be a pretty interesting experiment. And I'm gonna throw the background on there. That'll make everything pop, and then I'll pretty much be done after that. That's still a long ways off right now. So I would say at this point we're maybe a quarter of the way into it, and just check our progress as we go along.
After our layer of white with the bandana, I'm going in with a few strokes of black here to kind of detail the white and cut it back, and use the white as the highlight as we shape the detail out of the bandana.
Taking a little breather break, and still working out the details. If it's not that obvious, or if I did not mention before, I am working with semi-flat black and flat white. Just personal preference. You can use as many colors as you want, but I figure for the purpose of this instructional, I try to pull out as many techniques as I can using just the basic colors, black and white, so it doesn't get too technical. This is straightforward what you can do with black and white spray paint. 2 colors. So of course, if you have more colors, then you can just go to town and work your midtones, highlights, and shadows, like any other type of painting or whatnot. But this is kind of what I like to do right now. So right now, just still working the detail out in the face. It's coming along. We put a little highlight on the neck just to kind of separate the chin area from the neck. Next, I'm gonna go in and start trying to work some of this detail out in the bandana. there's a lot of detail in terms of like just the pattern and the bandana. And again, since it is spray paint, this is a pretty experimental piece, so we'll see how it comes out. A lot of these same techniques, you know, obviously, I guess I kind of look at, you know, doing canvas pieces as an a total experimental venture. As I, you know, do a lot of work on canvas, or the more work that I do on canvas and the more stuff like portraits or whatnot, I try to just bring that stuff straight out onto walls and do the same thing, you know, same approach, same techniques. I mean, you know, it's spray paint, so, you know, we're still in the process of discovering what all this thing can do, or what all these cans can do. Just getting the proportions of his face down, the highlights, trying to keep you know, the tonality, you know, his skin tone, you know, while shaping out the details. Reconsidering my approach.
Right now I'm using black to separate Tupac's head from the background of the canvas, basically going over all the overspray areas and cleaning up the negative space areas of the portrait.
You know, if you think about it like this, like the girl's face at Venice Beach must have been to the top of the wall, to her chin or so. You know, maybe that big. So again, just these proportions that we're working with are a lot smaller. You know, after taking a step away from it, I kind of, you know, I like the tones really work well from a distance, but, you know, again, we're trying to make it as nice as possible from you know, a close-up view, because obviously, you know, let's say if you're sitting right here and you turn around and look at it, I want it to look good from right here too. You know, keep working our highlights and tones. We're going to put all the detail in the bandana. And yeah, see how it comes out.
Now I'm using a stencil cap to get airbrush quality detail in the lines of the bandana. To make a stencil cap, you basically take the color top off of the top of a spray paint can, cut the flange off, cut the top off, and poke a hole in the side. Now I'm misting over the detail work that I just did to kind of soften it up and add a little texture to it, since it's supposed to be cloth.
Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the demonstration today. Feel free to experiment and work out your own issues with aerosol art and spray paint. You know, it's always about the experimentation process and staying open to it. You know, the more you do it, the more you'll learn. The more you pay attention, the more you'll find out, you know, new techniques, you know, so it's exploration the whole time. I'm still learning, I'm still growing. You know, don't be afraid to challenge yourself, you know. For me, I challenge myself by saying, hey, you know, I'm going to take just 2 colors and do something as photorealistic as possible. But again, I'm not beating myself up about it. You know, it came out successful. I'm happy. I hope you guys are happy. You know, express yourself, enjoy this, and, you know, teach the kids, because next generation is what it's all about.
Graffiti to me is a very, very complicated issue, and I don't know where to begin with that.
Now available, the amazing multi-award-winning films Graffiti Verite and GV2. The Graffiti Verite series of videos explores the controversial world of the underground graffiti art movement. To order your copies, call 323-993-6163. That's 323-993-6163.